Discussions in this show should not be construed as specific recommendations or investment advice. Always consult with your investment professional before making important investment decisions. And now, Financial Renaissance with the M's.
When we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's, we're going to talk about some dating apps, and we're going to talk about war driving with Hillary Thomas from AARP, Georgia, when we come back in 300 seconds. Lots of people meet friends and potential love interests online through dating sites, social media, or mobile apps. It can be a great way to meet people, but not everyone is who they say they are online. In fact, scams related to online relationships are on the rise. It's a red flag if the person wants to move quickly to personal email or instant messaging to continue talking. Professors Love Quickly claims to be from the United States but is working or traveling abroad. Plans to visit but cancels at the last minute. Ask for money to deal with an emergency or ask you to open a bank account for them. Here are some things you can do. Cut off contact if you suspect a scam. Watch your wallet. Don't wire money, send cash, or put money on gift cards for someone you know only online. Learn more about online relationship scams at aarp.org/fraudwatchnetwork.
Text us with your shout-outs and requests to 678-613-5857. Radio, knock them down.
Our fall is heating up with new episodes of IT Alive. All good with Rita G. Straight Talk with Daphne. Financial Renaissance with Emma Foulkes. The Live Exchange with Dr. Pamela featuring Robert Pierce. And from the Emmy Award-winning CBS program The Talk, it's the Cheryl Underwood Show. Smart Talk and an awesome mix for the smarter listener. Only on radio that's not dumbed down.
And we are back with Financial Renaissance with the M's. You are listening to us on Sensation Station Network. That's right. And I am very, very proud to say that we have Cheryl Underwood as an affiliate on Sensation Station Network. And you can listen to Cheryl live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock. And then you can watch her on The Talk on our CBS affiliate here. I don't know what channel it is, but it comes on right after she's done on Sensation Station Network. Flip over to your local CBS affiliate, and I believe she's on the East Coast at 2 p.m. West Coast, Midwest, all that. You'll have to figure that out. But definitely check out Cheryl Underwood. She's got a lot of great stuff to say. You know, this past Friday, she was talking about the 2016 debates. She said that if Jeb Bush had stolen on Donald Trump, Jeb Bush would have been president.
Well, you know, I can't confirm or deny that would have happened.
And I thought about that. I mean,
it
would have been. It absolutely would have been. Like, I feel like the debates are going to be a bunch of older people just. And actually, I have a story about that. Elder Fight Club. That's coming up on my top 5 news stories. Not funny. Funny in theory, not funny when it really. Yeah, not funny in practice at all. Well, listen, I'm here with Hillary Thomas from AARP. Hillary is the Associate State Director of Advocacy and Outreach.
I am.
I got that all in one sentence. You're welcome.
You did. Right. It's a hard one. I trip every time.
It is a hard one. Now, you're here today. You're going to talk to us about Cybersecurity Month.
It is.
And there's a lot that we need to learn about cybersecurity. Last week I said that, you know, we are going to be spending between now, for the last 5 years, ending in 2021, us as a country, we will have spent over $1 billion fighting against cyber crimes. The cyber criminals, conversely, will have made over $6 billion on us. So that's a $5 billion gap. So what we're trying to do is help close that gap a little. And I found a gap that a lot of you are unaware of. Dating sites. Okay? Those dating site apps, number one, here we go. There's a couple of companies that own a bunch of those dating sites. So Match Group owns it's a dating conglomerate. They run Tinder, Plenty of Fish, OkCupid, Match, Hinge, and a dozen others. And one of the things about these dating sites, and I mentioned this weeks ago about contracts. If you're not paying for something, you are the product, okay? So with these dating sites, when you go on them, if they are free, these dating apps are extracting information from you, and they are giving it to advertisers. You are the product. And then there's another company, the one that owns eHarmony. They also own Bumble, Grindr, and eHarmony. Oh, I'm feeling disgusting as I'm talking about this stuff. So, OkCupid, Jacked, Coffee Meets Bagel, all of these face scrutiny over hacks or data breaches in the week surrounding Valentine's Day, this year. So again, if you are on a dating site and it's free, it's not free. They are in your phone taking out whatever they want to take. So you have to be careful. I think this weekend may be a time, or this month may be a time, to look at all the apps that you have on your phone. And if they are free, you may want to go through the, the settings or the contract, and look at what you signed up for, and make a decision to see whether or not you really want them to have that information about you. All right? So we are going to talk about something very interesting today with Hillary. Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to have you.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
Did you bring me some grits?
I did not.
Okay.
No food today.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that later. All right. So we're going to talk about Wi-Fi scamming, right? And we all know that tapping into public Wi-Fi's is very dangerous, and we'll get into that a little bit also. But there's something else when you're home. In the comfort of your home, I call it the security of your home, your sanctuary. The hackers may be getting at you also by something called
war driving.
Not warmongering.
Not warmongering, war driving.
War driving. What the heck is war driving?
So pretty much people are getting in their cars and driving around looking for Wi-Fi networks that are not protected well. So if you have a Wi-Fi network and let's say you live at 499 Grandview, and your password is 499 Grandview, and it says, 499 Wi-Fi or whatever. So people are driving around looking to access that, and then they can put malicious software on your devices, so then they can pull out your financial information, so they can get your bank information.
Okay,
they can get your other
stop. So there's a question. How do you know if your Wi-Fi is secure?
Use a good secure password.
Oh, it's based on the password.
Yeah, use a good secure password. Don't have something where it's just open. Sometimes people even have guest networks and they just don't have a password on the guest network because they think, well, I don't want people to know what my passwords are or whatever else. Have a secure password
even
on
for
everything,
your guests.
Even for your guests. And a lot of these phones now, if you, say you come over to my house and you try to sign on to my Wi-Fi, I can just press a button and it allows your phone number to be able to sign on to my Wi-Fi without me giving you the password. So, you're able to protect yourself with your friends, so don't worry about that. But make sure you have a good password that someone just driving by wouldn't be able to figure out.
So again, people are in their cars, driving up your street, down your street, through your neighborhood, searching for unsecured. So they're just randomly testing out different stuff as they're somebody's driving
once
by.
your phone is, because you're using some type of smartphone, once your phone is up and active, you'll see the Wi-Fi's come through, and then you can see the ones that are not password protected, or you can, just try and play the roulette game and see whose Wi-Fi has a really easy password, like their address, or street name, or something.
A lot
1,
of people
2,
have
3.
here in the South. We have the flags of our favorite teams.
Exactly, and they can just start doing that. Yeah, I will never say that, but they'll put in your team names plus your address.
Yeah, or something. Be careful about letting people know your dog's name. If you are, and social media, I think, is going to be tied with this too, because it's very easy to figure out a lot of things about your password by just going to your social media.
It is.
Looking at your dog's name, your kid's name, birthdays, things of that nature. So you do want to make sure that you're not using that stuff.
Exactly.
War driving.
And then people say, well, what am I supposed to use? Something else.
They say use phrases, passwords
Yes.
from songs, from movies, things of that nature. But in this day and age, nobody has time to remember all that stuff. We need a password for absolutely everything. So
But
it's,
you're really not supposed to use the same password.
you're not supposed
for
to use the
everything.
same password, but I said we need passwords for everything.
Yes.
So now it may be time to use a password manager or a password,
Yes.
secure password generator, because like the passwords that I come up with, I don't remember them. I don't even know where I put them half the time, and I don't want to be, that person that's, oh, my password for, I don't want to be that person.
We don't want to have a file.
No, I don't want to have a file or a spreadsheet or anything like that. I think those are dangerous. But you want to have a secure password manager that will that has two-factor authentication.
Mm-hmm.
So if they get hacked, people still can't get a hold of their passwords either. I am absolutely baffled. I do have a question for you. How does AARP, how do you guys stay on the pulse of all this? Because as I was preparing for Cybersecurity Month, a lot of the information that I found was from AARP.
So we have something called the Fraud Watch Network. And the Fraud Watch Network is a really good way of us figuring out what the latest fraudulent activities are, and you can report it. So you sign up for the Fraud Watch Network and you get alerts from the fraudulent activity, but then you can also report to us what has happened to you. And then we send it out to the different policing agencies just so they're aware, because it's not always something that we can prosecute, but it's a good way of everybody just understanding what's happening. Kind of like that water scam they had, people didn't know about it until you started saying it. This has been a couple of years ago in DeKalb County. People were going door to door telling the older adults, I'm getting ready to cut off your water. And their thing immediately is, oh my goodness, again, their ether, we talked about a couple months ago, the ether was up, I need water. I can't afford to have my water taken off, so they would just hand these people the cash that they had in the house. But it was a scam. That's not how the water company operates. That's not how most utilities operate. But, we found out about that through the Fraud Watch Network and something that had been reported to us. So that's how.
Wow. So the Fraud Watch Network it's almost a community. Mm-hmm. Right. So if something happens to you, you tell, then everybody gets to know about it.
But imagine the reach. So AARP has roughly 37 million members nationwide, which makes our magazine the most highly circulated magazine in the country, if not the world, because 37 million people get our magazine every month. But imagine if even a third of those people were a part of the Fraud Watch Network. I'm not certain the numbers, but that's a lot of people to share the information. A lot of people that says, hey, my neighbor had this happen, or hey, this happened to somebody else. Mm-hmm. So it's a good way for everybody to know what's happening in all different parts of the country.
All right, when we come back, we have a question from one of the guests about using passwords and thumbprints and all that other stuff. When we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's, hey, during the break, I want you to go to your benefits page, and I want you to look up the amount of group life insurance you have. That's your task for these 300 seconds.
Emma Knows Money is brought to you by AARP's Fraud Watch Network. Go to aarp.org or ssnatl.com and click the Fraud Watch Network banner for more info.
This is big business. This is the American way.
Station Network.
See ya.
And we're back with Financial Renaissance with the M's. Yeah, we're having a good day today. We have Hillary Thomas and Emma Foulkes in the studio talking about cyber security. Coming up on the show, sponsored by AARP, will be Emma Knows Money. I'm going to be giving some caregiving tips, okay? Ways to get together with your siblings to figure out how to, kind of organize stuff. And then my market movers and losers and my top five news stories of the week. All right. Before the break, during the break, you were supposed to go and check on your intranet, look at your group benefits, and figure out how much life insurance you have. Now, when you do that, you have to take into consideration what you want life insurance to accomplish if you were to leave this earth, okay? So you're going to, have that conversation with yourself. If you need help with it, feel free to call my office, Greenwood Wealth Management, 404-633-9952. We can have a conversation about it next week or the week after. All right. We had a question. Trina took the question. We had a question about whether and how secure is it if you use, say, a thumbprint versus a password, et cetera, et cetera. And, here's what I'm going to say. I'm an ex-IT person. The thumbprint, face print stuff, facial recognition, that works on computers and certain devices. My wife and I, she just took the facial recognition off of her phone. She didn't feel it was secure enough because I've been trying to break through with it. The thumbprint, again, if you have children or you have people around you, and I watch I don't know, some court shows sometimes, this couples court. And a lot of times spouses will take the other spouse's finger and put it on the phone, and kids do it too. Kids do it too. A child will put your phone over your face, or they will take your thumb and put it on the thing so that they can get into your phone. So you tell me how secure that is.
I don't think it's been tested enough to know if it's any more or less secure than a password.
Right.
But if my 7-year-old was smart enough to figure out all he has to do is try and hold the phone up to my face to unlock it.
Hey, Trina has a nephew who, when he was how old? He was able to look at the grease prints on your password and try different combinations until he got into a phone. So as far as security is concerned, if it's a child, I don't know what to say to you because they're like super smart. But when it comes to hotels, that was another question, right? So another question we have is hooking up to the free hotel and resorts Wi-Fi a good idea, even though they have passwords? I say abso-freaking-lutely not. If the computer that you're using has sensitive information on it, like your tax returns, anything personal, social security numbers, any personal type of information, and sensitive and personal information is going to be your driver's license number, your address, any type of your social, like anything, your parents' information, anything that can connect you that people can use for ID theft down the road. So when you're at a hotel or a resort, and I can only speak for iPhone users. I don't know Android. So if you are an Android user and you know the answer, please go ahead and put it in the comment section so that other people can know. But with your iPhone, hook your iPhone up to the Wi-Fi, and then use your hotspot, and then have your computer connect to your phone hotspot. But do not connect your computer directly to even if you're at a conference. At a conference is the same thing. They have the conference room Wi-Fi, blah, blah, blah. Don't connect your computer directly to that. Don't do that. And then in hotels, you have to be careful because in the lobbies, there are, hackers that will sit there. They have these things called, are they pineapples? There are these little Wi-Fi boxes, and so let's say we're at a Hilton hotel. They'll name the Wi-Fi thing such and such Hilton, and it's going to look just like the hotel. But instead, you're logging into their Wi-Fi, and now they have full access to your computer and all of your data, and they can take it away from you just like that.
Similarly, they're talking about the charging stations, these public charging stations. When you just plug your phone into them, you don't realize what information they could be getting out.
From USB or the regular plug?
The plug that goes into your phone.
Okay. So, no, what I'm asking is, they have the USB portion where you can charge it, or directly through the, because it's like that at Delta, too, the Delta terminal. So I was taught never to use the USB portion, always do the actual plug-in. Mm-hmm. The other thing, too, is at your own home. They've got new outlets now where you can do the traditional plug, or you can do the USB. Once you do a USB into that network, the electricity network, everything on your phone is now open. It's no longer protected. So always make sure you go in with the square plug or whatever shape it is. Always make sure that you use that, and that you do not, use the USB connection, because that opens it up, and people can get everything on your phones. I don't really keep anything on mine, but I don't want anybody on my phone. I don't want anybody on my phone at all. So let's talk a little bit about, just avoiding Wi-Fi scams, not accessing public, information a little bit on networks. I know there are people that like to go to coffee shops a lot. And again, just like the hotel lobbies, everybody knows that people go to coffee shops. All right. So if everybody knows that people are there logging on, if you see free Wi-Fi, you need to think somebody's about to jack me. Somebody's about to jack me. All right. This commercial break. Okay. What I want you to do, I want you to go back online, not only, and I want you to look back at your life insurance again, but this time I want you to make sure, I want you to look at who your beneficiary is. And if you have been divorced, have broken up with someone, you may want to make sure that that person is not listed as your beneficiary anymore. If you have remarried, you want to make sure that your ex-spouse is not listed as your beneficiary. We'll be back on Financial Renaissance with the M's.
SSNATL.com is a Radio 2 Atlanta station, which provides a daily mix of awesome hits with smart talk. For the smarter listener, your choice just became clear. SSNATL.com. Radio that's not dumbed down.
And we are back with Financial Renaissance with the M's, streaming live on Sensation Station Network and Facebook and Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Hey, listen, we are here in the studio today with Hillary Thomas, the Associate State Director of Advocacy and Outreach. The whole mouthful of AARP Georgia. And AARP Georgia has been a huge supporter of Financial Renaissance with the M, so I appreciate that, because all the information, a lot of the information that I get from this show, I actually get from AARP. And for those of you who look like me, and are in the 50s and don't want to, we want to pretend we're not in the, 50s, a new 40, I don't need an AARP card. Listen, by the end of the show today, you're going to understand why you need an AARP card and why AARP they have our back. They are fighting for Main Street. They are fighting for lower drug costs. They are fighting to get the insurance companies to stop gouging us. 37 million strong. Mm-hmm. Right? Is it a lobbyist organization?
So we do. So I am a registered lobbyist. There are those of us that lobby at the state, federal, and local level. But what we are is an organization. We're a social membership organization. So we have a lot of members, and we do lobby on behalf of our members. However, you can be a member at any age. But when we are going to the Capitol, when we are going to Georgia's Gold Dome, we're actually fighting for what we feel is best for the 50-plus population. Our nursing home bills, we've got some bills, hopefully, that we'll be able to push this year around prescription drugs and things like that.
Yeah, face the microphone. You've been here enough. You know how that works.
Get distracted.
There's all types of stuff going on back here. They're not feeding me, but they are distracting me. Yeah. So I didn't know you were a registered lobbyist.
I am.
We have to have a couple
You
of
have to be a registered lobbyist if you make more than $20,000 a year to do your job. And you spend a significant portion of your job lobbying for things.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to become a registered lobbyist because I want to lobby for some stuff. Let's talk about older people.
Okay.
Older people that are not maybe as computer savvy. And there's some people, even my age, who just don't want to access their bank account information on their phone. They are adamant about it. I am not looking up my bank account. I'm not doing anything on my phone. You say that that's not such a great idea.
So that's one of the ways that we are saying can help protect you against fraud, is having access to your bank accounts and knowing what that information is. If you do not have online access, you're not getting those alerts when something happens in your account. You don't know, moment by moment what your balance is. You're having to call in, or if the bank isn't open, what if it's the weekend, or you're having to physically go into the bank. But you're not able to stay ahead of where the hackers are and where anybody who is looking for your financial information is, because you're having to wait for somebody else versus being able to check real time what that information is or what's going on in your account.
Hey, and you also get alerts.
You do.
That's the other beauty of having your bank accounts connected to your phone, is as soon as a charge goes through, you see an alert on your phone, and sometimes it's even a text message. You can, and it happens to me a lot. I don't usually spend a lot with certain accounts, and when I go into a store, sometimes my charge won't go through. Mm-hmm. And if you are ever at a store and your charge isn't going through, look at your text messages immediately, because sometimes it's your bank looking at this charge as a fraudulent charge, and they won't let it go through unless you type Y or yes back, and then they'll let it go through. There's a lot of credit card companies that are doing a great job of that, but again, putting your bank accounts or linking your bank accounts onto your phone, onto a secure phone. Again, I can only speak for Apple. I feel comfortable with the iOS system, iOS platform. So I don't know about the Android people.
And that's another thing with your accounts. If whatever your operating system is, make sure you're updating it. because the hackers are, they're doing these updates for a reason. They're trying to stay a step ahead of the hackers and a step ahead of the scammers. So keep your systems updated so that way you have the newest security software, you have the newest protections.
As soon as you see an update come through for your computer, you need to update it, unless you're, smack dab in the middle of your day. And then if it happens on your phone, as soon as it happens, update it, because the hackers know that everyone doesn't. And so if they found a hole, they're going to be going after that hole for you. All right, during this next commercial break, I'd like you to check on the amount of disability, group disability you have, whether you have short-term disability and whether or not you have long-term disability. You need to know this stuff, and so does your family, when we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's.
Whether you listen to us in Atlanta or another part of the world, we'll give you smart talk because you're the smarter listener, and an awesome mix. Because why would you listen to a mix that's just okay? That's a major loss. We're what your MP3 player grew up to be. SSNATL.com. Radio that's not dumbed down.
And we are back with Financial Renaissance with the M's. We are, streaming live on SSNATL.com. You're also possibly listening to us on TuneIn. And if you want to watch us live in the studio, we do have a great production going on here. You can go to Facebook. You can type in the search, little search bar, type in Sensation Station Network, and then boom. Click like, you can see us. We're right there on the top of the screen. You can watch us live. Do want to thank everybody who has tuned in. I'm going to call them my first 100, my day 100. All the people that helped me make my YouTube page personalized. I appreciate each and every one of you. Should have teed up my producer for a sound of applause, but thank you. You're all so kind. Thank you. There we go. We're in sync now. All right, before the break, we talked about just some phishing scams. We also talked about avoiding public Wi-Fi. I know nothing about the Android system, so you may have to Google it or learn how to protect yourself when you're at restaurants, cafes, hotels, conferences, etc. If you have an Android phone, don't know if you can do the same hotspot thing, so hopefully somebody can answer that for you. Let's talk, Hillary. We're here with Hillary Thomas from AARP. Hillary, can you tell us about the secure HTTP?
So the difference between HTTP and HTTPS, well, we're telling people that S equals secure. So make sure you're looking at what that website actually has in its full, in the full link. That and some other ways to avoid phishing scams. Make sure that you're not just willy-nilly clicking on links. Because I know a lot of people are getting these emails and text messages with links sent out, or hey, this is Dad. You're like,
yeah, it was like
sometimes,
sometimes they.
Hey, this is Dad. Look at this link or whatever.
Yep.
Don't click on any of those links because they're trying to get into your device and fish for information. And when they're fishing for information, they're not looking just for pictures. They might take pictures of your kids too, but they're looking for your financial information. They're looking for anything that can help them get passwords or any way that they can get stuff from you. At the end of the day, always remember there are people that sit at home that do not work, and their job is to figure out how to get money out of you.
Oh, they are working. That is their job. That is their job. And they're making, as I said, in a 5-year period, they will have made $6 billion off of our hard work and off of our back. So don't make things easy for them. What are some steps that you think that people can take so that they don't get phished, or so that they are my frustration with most humans is I don't understand computers, so I'm just going to ignore it all. Mm-hmm. Okay? So what are some steps that people can take to just protect themselves, protect their families, protect their businesses from, some of this cyber fraud and cyber theft?
The most important one is one we talked about right before break, is monitoring your accounts online. So make sure that you have access to be able to do that. And securing your passwords. We were talking about it kind of jokingly, but there are people that do just write down their passwords and put them on a sticky note and have them on their desk or wherever else they want to do that. Don't do that. Have a password that only you are going to remember and only you're going to know. And if you have to write it down, write it in code. Whatever it is, do it so it's a clue that only you can figure out the answer to, and then you can do it. Don't write my best friend's name. Everybody knows who your best friend is because you all have a YouTube channel together. Don't do that. But, make sure it's something that only you know and that you're only able to figure out. And yes, it is a pain to change passwords, but it's better to change your password all the time, to click on the link that you forget your password, than it is to have a password that's super easy and people can get into. And protect your devices the same way. Don't just leave your device willy-nilly. Don't plug into these networks when you're out and about, like we talked about. Control the sites that you're going to. Don't go to dangerous sites. Don't go to sites that
what are dangerous
kind of
sites?
fishy.
So what would you consider a dangerous site?
Well, we're all going to go to the search engine sites and that type of thing. But if it is a site that does not look secure, or, I don't know how everyone's security systems are as far as their online security when you're buying this antivirus software, but my software will kick out and tell me that the site is not secure.
Yeah.
If the site is not secure and is telling you that, don't go to the site.
Stop.
Even though you're thinking, oh, well, this is the right site, you could have had one letter off in the site and it's taking you somewhere else. So make sure you're not doing those types of things. And the other thing that we were talking about before is when you're signing on to these networks, when you're out, be careful what networks you're signing on to. So we've already told you the public networks can be a way for hackers to get into your information. But also look at these, what we're calling evil twin networks. So if you're out and about in Atlanta and you see free Atlanta Wi-Fi, that might not be the Wi-Fi that the city of Atlanta provides, or it might be, but just look at that and be very skeptical before you just sign on to this. You might just sign on and say, oh, free Chevron Wi-Fi. Oh, okay, I'm sitting at the gas station. Why don't I click on this? That might be a site that somebody else has set up so that, once you sign on to there, they're able to get your information.
What about the airports? Because the airports now have
airports supposedly have free Wi-Fi. Be that annoying customer that asks the people at the information desk, what is the free Wi-Fi here, instead of just assuming what it is, because it could also be that Wi-Fi that someone else has set up so that they can get your information.
Or pay a little bit extra, go to the Sky Lounge.
That too.
But even still, even if you're in the Sky Lounge, which, you're paying for to be in there and to be comfortable, but the same rules apply with the Wi-Fi. Do it with your phone, hotspot it, and then go to your computer. All right. So during the break, I want you to look at your benefits. If you have your benefits package, I want you to look and see if they are offering dependent care benefits. And Hillary's going to talk to us a little bit about dependent care benefits when we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's. Hey, you are listening to us live on ssnatl.com and on Facebook. My love-hate relationship with Facebook. Listen, you can join the conversation by texting us at 678-613-5857. Feel free to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Emma Knows Money. I get to say that with a smile now. And also, the website, I believe, Emma Knows Money, has been launched, so you can go, whether it's to YouTube or you can go on the website and you can check out some previous episodes. And also, give us some feedback. We need to know, what type of financial things are you interested in. The basis of this show is to take just what's happening on Wall Street, what's happening in Washington, D.C., and just chomping it down to digestible pieces so that us down here on Main Street can figure out what moves we need to make in our lives so that we're not caught flat-footed by decisions that other people are making. During the break or before the break, I'd asked you to see if your company has or is offering dependent care benefits. And this is one of the newer types of benefits. Dependent care benefits is something new. And then there's another benefit available now that will help you pay back your student loans and not have it count as earned income. So there's a couple of new benefits, 21st century benefits that are available now. And the first person that I heard about that introduced me to dependent care benefits was you, Hillary Thomas.
That's surprising.
It just is.
It's a really great benefit. For me, we talked a little bit about it during the break. It's a good way for me to save for summer camp. The summer camp is a beast. It is expensive. Being here in Atlanta, summer camp runs me anywhere from $800 to $1,000 a month. So it's a good way for that money just to sit because he's no longer at the age where he's going to quote unquote daycare. So I can't use the money for anything else except for those types of child care expenses. So the money just sits until the summer and it's taken out every month, and it's taken out in little bits, so you don't really notice as much. But when it comes to the summer, I have that money sitting there to use for summer camp, and it does help.
So with the dependent care benefit, if you have an elder loved one or a special needs loved one or a child, some of that, isn't there one that will help pay for babysitting too?
So it will pay for babysitting under certain
adult sitting?
requirements, but I don't know about for adults. I know it will for children, but
Okay.
then again, there's some background information you have to have and things that you have to provide to the IRS when you're doing your tax refund, because usually you get that child care credit on your taxes, but you have to, if you're using the pre-tax deduction for dependent care, there's some effect with the child care credit. So you
Okay.
have to
So you have to be
show in
kinda
advance
careful.
like
So-
what you were using.
so-
And it was like, it's a $5,000 max that you can take out anyway.
So make sure you talk to your CPA about that. We don't want to hem anybody up. One of the questions we had during the break, what was Marianne's question about, how do we expect people to feel when, about password safety and things of that nature when a lot of major corporations get hacked? Equifax, Home Depot, I mean, you name it, every other week there's a headline of some company that got hacked 3 or 4 months ago, and they're just now telling us about it. How do we feel secure about anything out there? And what I'll say to you is you have to lock your credit down. And plain and simple, you have to lock it down. You have to freeze your credit, and it's free now, I believe. After the Equifax thing, it's free to lock it and unlock it now. Until they come up with a way to protect us, that is, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, your safest bet. Lock your credit down, so that way if somebody gets a hold of your sensitive information, they can't do anything with it. You don't want anybody buying a car, a house, opening up, utilities in your name, things like that. And the only one of the surefire ways of preventing it is to throw up that credit freeze. And again, it's very simple. You just go online, you type in Equifax credit freeze, TransUnion credit freeze, and what's the other one? Experian credit freeze, and you can sign up, or if you want to apply for some type of credit, ask them who they're using. Which of the big three do you use? I need to unlock it. So that's just another layer. And sometimes it also helps you when you're making the impulse, thinking about doing something impulsively. It's also another added layer of protection to save you from yourself. Because there's been a few times where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do such and such. And then after I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll unlock my credit when I go home. And then when I go home, I'm like, I don't really need that. Like, forget about it. We don't have to do that.
And I cannot implore people enough. And I feel like every time I say it, there's another person that says, but why? Please, people, stop carrying around your Social Security card. You
But why?
don't need it for anything.
But why?
You are not applying for a car loan every day. You are not getting a mortgage
Hey,
every day.
listen, if you need your Social Security, if you don't have your Social Security number memorized, you shouldn't be leaving the house alone. Number one, okay? For a lot of you, if you're older, it used to be on your driver's license. People used to have it on their checking accounts, remember?
Yes, it was on
their
the check.
Yeah,
it was
used to be
on
their
the check, the physical check.
Yes.
And not only was it on the physical check, you didn't have to have a Social Security number right after birth for a while. So my sister and I are 2 years apart, and our Social Security numbers are only one number apart because we went in the same time. We were like 5 and 4.
I would make a joke about the South, but I'm going to leave it alone right about now.
Yeah,
All right,
please don't.
listen, during this commercial break, I'd also like you, as you're checking into the benefits that are being offered by your company, I want you to see, if at all possible, if your company is offering long-term care as a group benefit. That is something very, very important. We'll talk a little bit about that when we come back. We also have my Emma Knows Money and my top 5 news stories of the week. Coming up on Financial Renaissance with the M's, we have Emma Knows Money, sponsored by AARP Georgia.
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers.
Our fall is heating up with new episodes of IT Alive. All good with Rated G. Straight Talk with Daphne, Financial Renaissance with Emma Foulkes, The Live Exchange with Dr. Pamela featuring Robert Pierce, and from the Emmy Award-winning CBS program The Talk, it's the Cheryl Underwood Show. Whoa. Smart Talk and an awesome mix for the smarter listener. Only on radio that's not dumbed down.
You used to.
Emma Knows Money is brought to you by AARP's Fraud Watch Network. Go to aarp.org or ssnatl.com and click the Fraud Watch Network banner for more info.
Money, sponsored by AARP Georgia and Hillary Thomas. Hey, listen, today we're talking about caregiving made easy. All right, the problem. You need to keep track of doctor visits, appointments, and coordinate transportation among other family members, right? Or with other family members. The solution, create a group calendar. And that way all participants can access it. So you want to have a group calendar. You can use Google. You can use whatever the iOS system is. But have a calendar specifically for that family member and make sure that everybody that's responsible for the transportation has access to it as well. And make sure in the location you put the address. That is very, very important. Not just the doctor's name, but the doctor's name and the address, phone number, etc. Now, the other problem is you have to share caregiving duties with other family members. From going and visiting their homes during certain times of the day, making sure medication is being taken, etc. Well, go online, find an app. There should be a group to-do list, and in this group to-do list, everybody should be able to access it and get reminders on their phones, okay? We're very busy, and when we're taking care of our loved ones, it just adds another layer. So again, we've got to do stuff for our parents or elder loved ones, and then we also have to do stuff for the kiddies. All right, the next problem is you forgot what else your loved one needs you to pick up from the pharmacy besides medication. All right, the solution is to have alerts sent to you. Just know that you can't remember everything. So what I do is I tell my Siri to remind me during a certain time when I know I'm either going to be driving or when I know I'm going to be at the store. Something will pop up on my phone letting me know that I need to pick up baby oil or Epsom salt or a sitz bath or a cane or whatever else it is my elder loved one needs. All right. Another problem is during an emergency or in an emergency, you don't want to have to fumble through a whole bunch of screens on your phone to call for help. So what you want to do with your elder loved one, you want them to get familiar, and a lot of them do not want to wear that I've fallen and I can't get up. They absolutely hate it, so stop trying to get them to wear it. If you can sneak it on them, great, but make sure that on their phone, there's a couple of things that they can do so that they can immediately call 911, get an operator, or reach out to us, okay? The next problem is you want to keep tabs on your loved one's location. As your elder loved one starts to lose cognitive abilities, you want to know where they are. A good friend of ours, his mom ended up in another state. And that's something so terrifying, not only for them, but also for us too. So you want to do the Find My app. There's a Find My app on your iPhone that you can put on. I think it used to be called Find My Friends. But you want to have a location thing set up on your parents' phone or on your elder loved one's phone. If they're still, in their right frame of minds, go ahead and let them know that you're doing it. But you want to be able to track them down in a moment's notice. And certain healthcare companies are offering iWatches for about $25. That's another great way of keeping track of our parents as well, just in case they get lost. All right, the next problem, if your loved one requires medical assistance and you are not around. All right, we're going to go back to the phones and also the watches. It's just as good as having a medical ID bracelet. Their doctor's information, the stuff that they're allergic to, all of that stuff can be on the medical part of the watches that does not need a password to unlock. So this is something that is helpful for not only you, but also for your loved ones. And again, even if your parents aren't at that age yet, let's say they're still young and 70 is the new 60, start having these conversations with them now and start getting them comfortable with this. The worst thing to do is wait till they're a lot older, their cognitive abilities start losing, and then you're trying to take away their independence from them. That's not what you want to do. So start having these conversations with them now so that when it happens, it's not as much of a shock and there's not that much to battle with them about. So those are my caregiving made easy tips, sponsored by AARP Georgia. Lots of people meet friends and potential love interests online through dating sites, social media, or mobile apps. It can be a great way to meet people, but not everyone is who they say they are online. In fact, scams related to online relationships are on the rise. It's a red flag if the person wants to move quickly to personal email or instant messaging to continue talking. Professors Love Quickly claims to be from the United States but is working or traveling abroad. Plans to visit but cancels at the last minute. Ask for money to deal with an emergency or ask you to open a bank account for them. Here are some things you can do. Cut off contact if you suspect a scam. Watch your wallet. Don't wire money, send cash, or put money on gift cards for someone you know only online. Learn more about online relationship scams at aarp.org/FraudWatch Network.
Here's the 431st affiliate of Cheryl Underwood Radio. Sensation Station Network, an internet radio station in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm going to say it again. Sensation Station Network, an internet radio station based in Atlanta, Georgia. Go ahead, Prime. We are very happy to be part of the Sensation Station Network.
We are very proud to be affiliated with the Cheryl Underwood on Sensation Station Network. That's right, Cheryl Underwood, the comedian, the talk show hostess with the mostess. She can be heard live right here on Sensation Station Network Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from noon till 2 p.m. And then immediately thereafter, you can tune into your local, if you're on the East Coast, your local CBS affiliate, and you can watch her on The Talk. For the rest of you around the country, you tune in, you can look at your CBS station and see when it comes on. But listen, today we had a great show with Hillary Thomas with AARP. Thank you for bringing us the cyber tips and teaching our listeners, our parents, our teens, how to protect themselves from the cyber criminals.
Well, thank you for letting us help.
What?
It's like people need help on cybersecurity. They don't know.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about food. But anyway,
Somebody's hungry.
Somebody is hungry. So we thank you as always for bringing the tips, and I even like the little magazine that I get. I read it from cover to cover because there's always I get a magazine and a little news.
Yeah, so you get the bulletin, which is like the newspaper type thing, and the magazine. But again, that goes up to 37 million.
37 million. And again, if you are not an AARP member, it doesn't matter what your age is. If you're a younger person, remember you can get discounts at hotels. You can get discounts at the grocery store, 10%. Okay, it adds up. So the biggest thing about AARP that I want everyone to know is that they are a lobbying organization. They do lobby for our elder Americans. However, the issues that our elder Americans have, a lot of it revolves around healthcare. Those are the same issues that everybody has. We're paying mortgages instead of healthcare premiums. So, become a member of AARP and join that 37 million voices strong, okay? All right, looking at Syria, remember what I said, talk to your congresspeople, talk to your senators, let them know that we've got to bring our men and women in uniform and in plain clothes home, okay? They cannot be stranded out there. And then with the recession, remember about quantitative easing. When we are in a recession, things do get tight a little bit, but there's also a flip side of it, and there's a whole bunch of opportunity. So make sure you're saving your money so that you can take advantage of assets that will be available for pennies on the dollar, okay? Up next, we have Smooth Sensational Sunday. And then tune in this evening at 6 o'clock for the live exchange with Dr. Pamela. Now remember, be the change that you want to see in the world, and go forth, grow, live, and prosper. Namaste.